Good morning, everybody. This is RockoSweat. I've taken a 3-month hiatus due to some very personal things in my life, really things that ultimately don't matter. But I'm glad to be back and gaming for you. Today I'm going to be doing something a little differently. I'm going to be playing poker. I'm starting a new series today. I know if you've watched me in the past, you're used to seeing Hearthstone, maybe some Sea of Thieves. This is closer to something that I'm a little bit better at. Granted, I'm still an amateur, but I figured I'd give this a shot. I'm playing at a site called ClubWPT.com. It's great for amateurs. There's a lot of loose play at the tables, and you don't have to risk very much money doing so. This one today is a free roll. It's a turbo tournament. So if you're familiar with online poker, you know that these tournaments already run really fast. So you could be done with an entire tournament in an hour or two. That's really fast. But these turbos are ridiculously fast. I mean, we're talking, you can be on the final table within 45 minutes. So what that means is that you get a lot of big blind situations that are going to cost you a lot of your chips. A lot of people are consistently have less than 10 times the big blind. And that means that there's a lot looser play, and people seem to go in with decent hands. So you really got to change your style here. So without further ado, here we go. So one of the first hands I'm involved with right off the bat is an ace-8 offsuit. I'm not a huge fan of that, especially in an early position like this. But blinds are, even though it's a turbo, still fairly low. So I'm not too worried about calling, especially when there were two limpers ahead of me. But as I told you earlier, there's a lot of loose play, and I already got a raise right behind me and then a re-raise behind that person. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead here, and obviously I folded that hand. So soon after that, I pick up an ace-9 offsuit. It's a little bit better. Again, the guy in front of me this time raised, but he did the min raise. He went from 40 to 80. I figured it was good enough to smooth call, try to trap somebody. This person named CA moves all in. It's only 40 more to me. That's an easy call. Hopefully the DSS behind me calls, and he does. So the flop's not too favorable for me. There's still two other competitors in this pot, but we all checked. So I'm obviously hoping for an ace. We get another jack. So now my hand's looking really horrible. I went ahead and folded. We're going to go ahead and watch the rest of the hand. Rick Fry bet 120, and he scared everybody else out of the pot. Unfortunately for him, Cameron had that 3. So he's got jacks and 3s with a 9 kicker. Go ahead and skip ahead. Now I'm in the big blind with the king-7 offsuit. We're just looking for a call, maybe a min raise so I can stick in. And that's what we get from Cameron. He's on the button. So he min raises to 80. Got a call in front of me from Rick, and I'm going to go ahead and call, just see what happens. King. That's what I'm hoping for, is a king. Or maybe if everyone checks here, I can bluff at it. We got a bet from Cameron for 80. And he's going to go ahead and take down that pot. So as you can see, the blinds are already going up really high. I mean, we're already at 60. I mean, we're not even that far into the tournament yet. I think I skipped ahead by maybe 10 minutes. But so I'm in the small blind here. It's only 30 to call with a queen-10 off. And, this flop isn't bad for, I don't think, anybody involved, really. But it's really good for Cameron since he's behind the button. Bet 60. I hesitate here. I was thinking about folding that, but I do have 2 overcards. This guy's been playing a lot. I kind of wanted to test him here. Fortunately, there was a call behind me, so that doesn't make me feel too great. Go ahead and check. DSS checks, and Cameron, sure enough, bets 60 more. So since there's a guy behind me playing, still I went ahead and folded that. And DSS does call. Another 3 on the river. It's a really great board for any pocket pair. DSS checks to Cameron. And Cameron shoves all in. Really don't see a call here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it goes ahead and folds. So Cameron picks up another nice pot. But he's only at 1,040, so, you know, one of the things that, I'm going to pause it here, one of the things that I think is important to know, at least this is how I play anyways, is that betting a lot and trying to raise people off of their hands early on in a tournament like this, you're kind of defeating the purpose, because really the purpose of raising pre-flop is that you want to take down those blinds. Well, when the blinds are still relatively small, I know they're going up fast in this tournament, but they're still relatively small at 60 and 30. When you do get action, you risk losing a lot of chips. And we saw that with Cameron early. He lost a big pot. Now he won some of that back. So you can see he's just a little over what he started with. It's kind of funny, really, because, you know, he'll win these small pots and then he'll lose a big one and then try to gain it all back. I don't think he's playing bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it would suit you more to be a little bit trickier in the opening parts of these tournaments and just see what you can get. And then if you go ahead and you flop trips or straight or a flush or even a draw like that, you have more trap potential and you can take down larger pots while not risking as much because the blinds are so small. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. So here Cameron calls again, Rick calls again, and I call again. I have a 6-10 off, not great, but I am on the button. We saw Shiba raised under the gun. Called under the gun. So DSS calls in the small blind, and I believe, yep, Jimmy checks. Horrible flop for me. I mean, I got real no potential. The only way I'm winning this is a bluff. To me, it's a little too early to bluff. I'm only sitting at 595 chips right now. Not very great for me. Too many people in this pot, and Jimmy goes ahead and raises all in. Quick call by Shiba, who, remember, called under the gun, so probably has a decent hand. I'll fold my crap. And I believe DSS folds, if I remember correctly. Takes a while to think about it. And folds. He was really disappointed to fold there, I think. So yeah, he had an ace-10. I mean, it's not the best under the gun hand, but I mean, like I said, this is moving so fast. So you can see he catches a 10 here. Jimmy needs a queen, doesn't get it, so Shiba takes that pot down. Jimmy's out. We'll move on to the next hand. Here we go, finally. I pick up something decent. Pocket 10s. You can see the blinds are 50, 100. Cameron, sure enough, calls again. I'm low on chips. I only got, 6 big blinds? So I went all in. I think it's a no-brainer here. And we got a call by Eve, which scared me because I haven't seen Eve play yet. So, of course, this person has an ace-king and flops ace-king-8. Horrible for me. But this is poker. And as you can see right here, anything can happen. And I catch my 10 on the river, and I'm still alive. So, 1,300 chips. Funny comparison is that I am beating Cameron now, who won way more pots than I have so far. So here I am in the big blind now, 150. I still don't have 10 big blinds. So I'm still kind of in all-in mode here. We'll see if they raise me. 7-8 suited, not a bad hand. Sits on the camera and he just calls. So great, I can see a flop. And I hit part of that flop. Now, when your head's up like this, typically when you hit, even if it's low pair here, you're probably good. So I'll go ahead and bet pot size. Something interesting happens here. Now keep in mind that Cameron has been kind of a loosey-goosey here, so he raises. It's only 380 more. Doesn't put me out. It hurts if I lose, but I think I'm winning. And based on his reputation, I go ahead and call. So he flops over a Jack-10. He's beating me, unfortunately. But I knew that worst case scenario was that. So we see the turn come a 4. I don't get bailed out on the river, so I go ahead and lose a decent size, almost half of my chips there. It is half of my chips. So I'm on life support here, but I pick up Ace King. Blinds are 300, 150, 300. No brainer. I'm going to go all in with my Ace King here for 410. It's an easy call by Hammer, but Shiba goes ahead and re-raises him. I loved this re-raise because it isolates me, gives me a better chance at taking down this pot. So Hammer goes ahead, can't call that, it's too much. And luckily Shiba flops over an Ace-5 suited. Not bad, but I have him dominated. And I flop a king. So he's all but drawing dead here. Gets help on the turn, so he's looking for a club and doesn't pick it up. So take down that pot. I'm back over 1,000, but still for these tournaments, that's nothing. And there it is, folks. Pocket Rockets, best hand you can get in the game before you see the flop. And of course, under the gun, I'm going to raise all in. I have 3.5 big blinds, and the guy right next to me calls a 7-8 suited. That was peculiar, I thought. 7-8 suited doesn't seem like something you would call with there. He gets no help on the flop, and he's now drawing dead on the turn. So I'm going to pick up 2,700 in chips. Great. So I'm moving up. Still don't have 10 big blinds. So now we see a queen 2. I'm in the big blind. It's devastating big blind right now. Don't even have 3,000 chips. And they're taking an ante out now. So now there's 200 already in the middle. Got 2 calls. So it's free to see. I'll take a look at this. I caught something, but I'm not very confident about this. I do have the 2 hearts, so I can get a runner. And I make the call because pot odds. 300 into 2,300. No brainer. I can get some help. But got no help on the turn. A king hits the board, so I go ahead and check. DSS races. Bets 1,300, half the pot. I think it's an easy fold from here. And that's what I do. So DSS is sitting pretty. He's over 10,000 in chips. He's got more than 10 times. He's got about 25 times the big blind. So he's sitting pretty right now, especially in a turbo tournament. As you can see here, I picked up Ace-5. I'm 41st out of 66, so we're getting down to it already. So we got a call from Hammer, call from Bowen, of course a call from me on the button. I think there's an argument that I could have went all in there. That may have been a disaster, though, because of the flop, as you can see. I would lean towards calling personally, though, in that situation. So it goes check after the flop. And it's to me. What do I do? I could bluff? Nope. Too much of a wuss. I check. See what comes on the turn. And of course, it's a king of hearts. So now I'm really not feeling good about my hand. There's too many people in this hand right now. So even a $400 bet, it's not looking good for me here. Too many people acting behind me. I don't think a bluff's going to get me anywhere. Let's go ahead and fold. So Maltolo is in the hand. This is the first I've talked about him. So that always, alerts me. When someone new sits down at the table, they got a decent amount of chips. Curious to see what they have. And in this situation, is a Jack 5. So we got Jack crap. And Hammer takes it down with Kings and 10s. Oh, sorry, Kings. Yeah, Kings and 10s with a 7 kicker. So I pick up Ace 2. I'm in all-in mode here. I'm 45th out of 61. I have to go all-in. I don't see any other alternative here. It's not the best hand to go all-in with. You're beat by any other ace. But I'm hoping that if I do get called, it's from like a King-Queen, a King-Jack, Queen-10, etc., etc. So I get called by 2 here. So it's bad because I'm up against 2 other people, but it's good because now I can win 4,700 chips. So that's great. And as you can see, I flop an ace, I turn a 2 pair. I'm liking my hand right now, especially before the break. They all check. It's a common tactic when somebody's all in, just check. And if somebody gets something, you bet, they fold, and then they take down the pot from the guy who's all in. As you can see, both of them had really awful hands, and I take that down. So I skip forward from the break, and as you can see, blinds are 1,200 and 600, and in the middle is 875. So I didn't really avoid anything by going all in there and winning over 4,000 chips, because I'm right back in the same position. So you just gotta play it when you have it here. I'm 19th out of 37. Pocket 9, sitting pretty, I think anyways. With a smooth call by Please Bear and a raise by Duck. So that raises alarms for me. However, I don't have enough chips to fold. So I go ahead and call, hoping to just spike a 9. I'm aware that these 2 could have pocket pairs higher than me, but I'm hoping that just holding Ace-King, something like that. So as you observe the play after the flops, nobody's hitting that flop, 4-2-2, but I'm liking that flop. So there's a check and a sizable 2,400 by Duckbug. The pot is 20,000 now. Please Bear calls. So now I'm thinking, oh, they both have something. I'm probably beat here, but I do like that turn as well. Someone who has an ace high probably thinks they're good here. So to bet and all in, now I know I'm done. Duckbug calls, and sure enough, pocket kings by Duckbug, pocket jacks by Please Bear. I'm sitting with pocket 9s. Another 4 comes on the river, and Duckbug takes it down. Kings, full of 4s. And that's it for me. So it was a quick tournament. I really didn't learn too much there, but I did get some valuable experience on playing turbo tournaments. You get into a turbo tournament, you've got to play. Your mediocre hands become good. Your good hands become great. And pick your spots wisely. Try to isolate somebody. If you can't, you can't. I mean, heck, it's a free roll. Well, that's the end of this video. I just want to thank ClubWPT for giving me the opportunity to play real poker for cheap. I live in an area of the country where I can't play poker online except through ClubWPT. So it's a great option if you live anywhere other than Jersey or Las Vegas. So I would highly suggest that. Also, please, if you like this sort of material, if you like this sort of content, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what I can do better, or what I did horrible, or what you may want to see in the future. If you got any advice for me, I'm glad to hear it. And I hope to see you out there on the felt. Hey YouTube, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to do me a favor, check out one of my other videos. On one of these sides, do it. Do it.